Hello, and this is Talk for Glory, episode 137. We are 24 hours removed from Stardom X New Japan historic crossover, 48 hours removed from Stardom Gold Rush. But this isn't about Stardom. This isn't about New Japan. This is about AEW, and this is about AEW's Full Gear and how great that show was. Let's talk about, but first, introductions are. Wait one moment, guys. All right, back to what I was saying. But introductions are a must, as always. I'm a nigga before. This is episode 137. This is Talk for Glory, and this is our AEW Full Gear review. So before I say anything, guys, I want to say that this show was pretty damn good. It had its highs, it had its lows. But as we go into the match types, as we go into the matches, you're going to know which ones were my favorite, which ones weren't, which ones weren't my best ones. But just a fair warning, some of these are going to be speed round. Starting with, for the TBS Championship, it is Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. Again, fuck Jade Cargill. And I kind of forgot Nyla Rose was on the roster. And I'll be straight up, guys. After watching Jade versus Athena, I thought, you know what? If that goes 4 minutes, this will probably go 3. So, I went to go take out the trash. I went to go do something else. Come back, they're still having their match. Not something I would sit down and watch. But dear God, it was a war crime that Athena only got like 5 minutes with Jade, while Nyla and Jade got felt like 15 to 20. But I'm not going to go too deep into this match. Jade wins. Fuck her streak. Not the biggest fan of it. Should have lost it to Ruby Soho. Fuck the TBS title too. Next is Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus in a steel cage match. For you guys that say Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, yeah, good for you. If anyone tries to correct me, I'm just going to ignore them. I'm used to Jungle Boy. But on to this match. I enjoyed this match for how long it went, for what they did. What I didn't enjoy was, even after the match had started, they started going outside of the ring, grabbing weapons and everything. And then it made me think, wait, so is this supposed to be a steel cage? Because a steel cage is pinfall submission to escape the cage. Or is this supposed to be Hell in a Cell? Because if this were to be Hell in a Cell, I would understand, getting out of the cage, grabbing weapons, doing etc. Or get the weapons into the cage. But yeah, that part kind of lost me. Luchasaurus did his job, looking dominant for the majority of this. But I will say, highlight for me was that elbow by Jungle Boy. But I will say, I am not the fan of Jungle Boy tapping out Luchasaurus. For all that, I would have had Jungle Boy pin him. Not the biggest fan of Luchasaurus tapping out to Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy still wins this, but not by tap out. Also, next stop, Christian, and then we're moving on from this thing. This has been a fun personal feud. It's been a blood feud. It's been a feud of betrayal. All right, now that Jungle Boy's gotten past Luchasaurus, now what's next is Christian, and it's a one and done. And then Jungle Boy's got to go do something else. Now that he's a singles competitor fully, he's going for the TNT title. So congratulations, Jungle Boy, on this W. I don't know what Luchasaurus is supposed to do now. Now he's tapped out to Jungle Boy. Next is a tag match featuring 3 TNA OGs in Darby Allin. Yeah. So, guys, another time where I'm just confused as fuck here. If the match is no DQ, no count out, etc., there must be a winner. Why the fuck is it regular tag match rules instead of Tornado? Like Sting and Darby and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, like they all like fought around the fans. They fought on the ramp. That giant dude that I can't remember his name to save my life. He caught Darby like nothing. He picked him up like he was a damn child. Like, to me, that was like a fucking highlight. Like, that was the funniest thing ever to me. And then another thing in this match that I was kind of expecting, but, never happened, was the iconic Jeff Jarrett smashes Sting's face in with the guitar. And then Sting no-sells it, hits his chest, and then, the crowd goes crazy. Yeah, that didn't happen. I was kind of confused, not confused, but, I was more so like, oh, they didn't do the spot. But I will say it did look botched, but you know what? I'll say that it was fine. I like the lethal injection turned into the Scorpion Death Drop, and then Darby immediately coffin drops. Now, as for what else should happen in this feud is absolutely nothing. I think Darby needs to go back into the mid-card, upper mid-card, because I did believe in 2019, early 2020, that Darby Allin was a upper mid-carder, had sooner or later to be a main eventer. And I do think Sting needs to help Darby get to that main event scene, especially with the main event tonight. I think with how the outcomes played out, I think the pillars should step up. All the pillars have held championships, but only one's a current world champion. But congrats to Sting and Darby. I don't need to see Jeff Jarrett on my TV ever again in 2022, 2023, so on and so forth. And let's get Darby into that main event scene. Next match is... All right, so this one, I got to say this beforehand. Guys, when you say someone's name in wrestling, go by what you're fucking used to. Not by what's on the screen. Go by what you're used to. Hell, I'll give you a pass if like the wrestler specifically DMs you and says, "Call me my new name." That one you can do that. But I'm gonna be saying Paige a lot. But it is Saraya versus the greatest woman of AEW. It is the greatest AEW Women's Champion. It is the leader of the AEW Women's Division. It is the Doctor. It is DMD Britt Baker. You guys right now, I'm going to have to be giving that long introduction every single time. And honestly, what an amazing comeback match for Paige after being outside of the ring for 5 years, after that scary neck bump or a neck injury. I'm so happy to see Paige back in the ring. I was a Paige fan growing up because I always thought, British wrestlers are kind of cool. Or just the fact that Paige beat AJ Lee on her first night. Or the fact that she was, although I wasn't watching at the time, or the fact that she was the first and only ever NXT and Divas champion. Well, NXT Women's Champion. So, first ever, the real first ever women's double champ before Becky. But so this match was fucking amazing. I did notice that Britt was doing the curb stomp to Paige's back instead of her head. I understand that. I respect that. I do like the fact that Paige was somewhat selling like her neck injury, to be back. And I just love how much everyone in that match was very careful. Any neck bump, anything involving Paige, like the back Pages had like quick 10-second stop. You okay? Britt still played the heel perfectly here. It was the veteran versus the homegrown talent. I know some people are mad because, oh my god, a WWE guy is beating an AEW talent. That's not what I saw here. I saw two women out to prove something. Now, I'm not like about a majority of these people that see one match and say, put the title on them or put them in a title match. You know what I want to see next? I want to see Paige feud with Athena. And I don't know if I've said this. I don't know if I've said this in previous podcasts. I've just so Young Smooth this. But I actually love the name Athena. So that's why I don't say Ember Moon like that. I'll flip between the two. But yeah, I would actually love to see Paige feud with Athena, Ruby, what the hell's her name? Allie, Penelope Ford. Like, I want to see these women. I want to see these women feud with Paige. But yeah, this match was amazing. It's not match of the night, but, well, it's not women's match of the night. And we had three women's matches on this card. And, you know, since this is a match of the night, and obviously Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill isn't match of the night, I think we all know what was the women's match of the night. But, you know, we'll get there. We will get there. Next, for the Ring of Honor Championship, it is Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, versus the Demo God, Le Champion, El Ocho, the Wizard, Chris Jericho, versus the Swiss Cyborg Superman, Cesaro, another name, guys, versus the Spanish God. The Spanish God hit me too hard, Sammy Guevara. Yeah, all right, guys. So, and this is gonna be a shocker for me saying this. This should not have been a fucking 4-way. Just give me Danielson versus Jericho. Why does Bryan Danielson feel directionless here? I enjoyed this match, like literally pound for pound. The spots between Jericho and Guevara, the spots between Cesaro and Bryan Danielson. I enjoyed Bryan Danielson and Guevara. I enjoyed Jericho and Cesaro. I enjoyed Cesaro and Guevara. But just give me Bryan Danielson versus Jericho at this point. You know, MVP of this, I'll give him his credit, was Sammy Guevara with his cool spots. As for like strength-wise, Cesaro obviously every single day. But telling the story and technician, Jericho and Bryan Danielson. Whether it's the strikes, the submissions, the holds. Wasn't a fan of Jericho's flying Judas effect because it looked like he just caught his upper shoulder. Like he didn't elbow him. Like his upper shoulder grazed Cesaro. But, you know, the Demo God wins and continues the reign of ROH. Next, it is the returning, the first ever Trios Tag Team Champions. It is the Elite versus Death Triangle for the AEW Trios World Tag Team Championships. Not gonna lie, this was a complete spot fest, but spot fest is not a bad thing. I actually love it. I love spot fest depending on where you're doing this. Like the Triple Tombstone, loved it. I love the callback to Pac versus Omega. I love the callback to Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros. But I like 9 out of 10 spot that I think the Lucha Bros and Pac should have won this, hands down, was when Pac hit the Black Arrow and then immediate brutalizer. I think he should be hitting that move a lot more to the spine and then brutalizer. It was amazing. But to me, that was my favorite spot. And then the triple tombstone, favorite spot. And Ray Phoenix hitting Kenny Omega with the hammer after fighting Pac. Like, no, I don't want to use the hammer. I want to be good, guys. I want to win this clean. And just, I guess in a response, just in a fight or flight panic, Ray Phoenix is just like, I got to retain the titles. Bam. 1, 2, 3. Now we're getting a best of 7 series featuring the Death Triangle and the Elite. Before I move on to the next match, I got to say this. Welcome back, the Elite. Welcome back, Kenny Omega to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, what some of you guys may be thinking is, what do you mean, welcome back to New Japan? For you guys that don't know, for you guys that didn't see, the Best Bout Machine Cleaner has challenged our Commonwealth Kingpin, the leader of the United Empire, the IWGP United States Champion, Will Ospreay, to a match at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP United States Championship. So, guys, like in the G1 Finals video, New Japan Pro Wrestling videos will be coming back to Talk for Glory. And it's at Wrestle Kingdom. And there's already going to be a match card that's excited to be talked about. But this isn't New Japan. This is AEW. So let's bring it back with the tag team title match between Swerve and Our Glory and the defending champions, The Acclaim, because everybody loves The Acclaim. I love the fact that these guys, that commentary has just been showing us the story of maybe Anthony Bowens is the weak link because it's either his shoulder or his leg. Like, Anthony Bowens is always hurt in some way, shape, and or form. And the fact that Swerve has just, no one can tell me Swerve is not a full-blown out heel at this point. Swerve is a heel, and, we may not be swerving in his glory, but Swerve Strickland is going to be an absolute fucking menace as a heel. And we are just going to sit back and watch it all unfold. One of my favorite spots between the tag teams. Well, I actually love Swerve and Glory's entire movesets together. Whether it's the double stomp power bomb or the roundhouse kicks forearm, or even with the Acclaims, I don't know what the hell they call that move. The Anthony Bowens just like spin drops Swerve and then right place, right time, perfect position. Max Caster, elbows, mic drops. Like, these guys will always have great chemistry together. But I still say that, like, if I have to rank each of their matches, the first one was amazing. Picture perfect. Cannot fight that. And then this one was better than their second one. But this match ends with the Acclaim retaining and Swerve and Our Glory ending. Now, does this lead to a Keith Lee Swerve Strickland feud? Probably. Am I going to look forward to that? Hell yeah. Because like I've said in previous videos, I used to call Keith Lee Limited Lee. And now that he's limitless again, he'll be putting on some great matches. Also, I didn't think that Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland were tag team bound for the rest of their AEW careers. So looking forward to that. Next is a possible match of the night contender. It is Wardlow, the defending TNT champion, versus the Samoan Submission Machine, the ROH TV champion, Samoa Joe, versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And this was just a powerhouse match. That's what I got to call this, a powerhouse match. There was power. There was flying. Who the fuck's thought Wardlow can do a whisper in the wind if you would have been like, hey, Wardlow's going to do Whisper on the Wind, I was like, no, the fuck he's not. Like, don't get me wrong. The guy is like pure muscle, but he ain't doing no Whisper on the Wind. I would say Wardlow is what Brian Cage should have been. Or he is a high-flying Matt Morgan, minus the height. Because when I say I wish Matt Morgan was in his prime and in AEW, I really do mean that. So you'll always hear myself or Young Smooth comparing a certain wrestler to Matt Morgan. But, dude, Wardlow is just that guy. The man power bombed Hobbs like 4 times. Powerhouse Hobbs trucked Joe. And just like in the introductions, as the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe choked out Powerhouse Hobbs after Powerhouse Hobbs got power bombed a good 3-4 times. I'm looking forward to see how Wardlow versus Joe now plays out. And maybe it's just me, but Samoa Joe's best work is in triple threats. Whether it's his triple threat against AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in TNA, TNA's first ever 5-star, whether it's Samoa Joe versus Crimson versus Matt Morgan, whether it's give me a moment, guys. I'm trying to remember like one of my favorite. Well, this isn't triple threat. This was a Fatal 4, but it was still good. Or it was Samoa Joe versus Andrade versus R-Truth versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Joe is the guy to be in the right place at the right time in multi-man matches. And if you guys have never seen Matt Morgan versus Crimson versus Samoa Joe, or that Fatal 4 for the United States Championship between Andrade, Truth, Joe, and Ray, I recommend that you watch these. Samoa Joe is that damn good in a multi-man match. Also, one more thing. Congratulations to Samoa Joe on winning the TNT Championship and becoming a double champion. Because, guys, the 2020s is going to be the decade of the double champs. We have had people like Roman, Will, Joe, Kenny, FTR. Like, there's going to be a number of double champs by 2030. By 2030. So 10 years from now. Well, not 10 years. So 8 years from now. In 8 years, we're going to look back in the 2020s and be like, that person was double champ. That person was double champ. That person was double champ. I guess the 2-2 stands for double champs. But before I get into the next match, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I'm back, guys. And into our next match, the women's match of the night. It is Toni Storm. I can't remember the rock star Toni Storm versus a true powerhouse, one of the strongest lariats in the business, the ultimate hater, Jamie Hayter, for the AEW Interim Women's Championship. Guys, this match had a story. It had a history. It had the history of Jamie and Tony and being in so many promotions, facing each other in so many places. It had the history and story of how well Jamie and Tony know each other. But guys, can we talk about the fact that they traded finishers? Not gonna lie, that got a pop out of me, especially when I see a Rainmaker. As much as I don't like Okada anymore, I do pop and I do go Rainmaker or whenever I see the Usos, I yell 3D. But this match was fucking epic. But if you guys remember where Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, the first one, 2 out of 3 falls. Not 2 out of 3 falls. The first one, I believe it was TakeOver Brooklyn. But what I want to say is basically the comparison here is just like when Johnny Gargano had kicked out of multiple finishers from like the Undisputed Era and the distraction and the crowd was just popping for everything. That was Jamie Hayter. When Rebel came out, hit Tony with the title. Jamie pins 1, 2, everyone's hype hoping that is a 3. And that, oh God, it's not even her match. But Britt Baker, the Doctor, DMD, gets the biggest pop throughout that match. Well, one of the biggest pops throughout that match for hitting the curb stomp on the AEW Women's title onto Toni Storm, then cheering on Jamie Hayter. And then the cherry on top. The Storm Zero was amazing. But when Jamie hits Tony on the exposed turnbuckle and then hits that Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3, it was a fucking party. It was fucking amazing. It was a highlight. Like this is a moment in Jamie's career that a lot of people are going to be talking about. And I know a lot of people are talking about the future evolution turn on Britt Baker to Jamie Hayter, but let's enjoy this. Let's be in the Hayter era. Congratulations to the new AEW Women's Champion. Even if it says interim, you are the real champion here. The new AEW Women's Champion, Jamie Hayter. Now, guys, we're about to hit our main event. So I want to thank anyone that hears this. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people come in and out of this live. Guys, feel free to comment. But I want to thank anyone that hears this later or now. Or just, pops in throughout any time throughout the stream. But we have reached our main event. So I want to thank everyone that hears this. Full Gear was such a great show. You guys are going to get the Stardom X New Japan show review later. Like later on this week whenever I can watch it. So, that one's going to be, uploaded. I believe the next Stardom video you guys will get on YouTube will be Dream Queendom, which will be, like the last week of December. But you'll also be getting Wrestle Kingdom around that time, or probably right before Wrestle Kingdom. But guys, if you guys haven't already, drop a like, drop a sub, comment after this live's over. Follow us on our socials. Also, I gotta just always say this. Talk for Glory will never be a solo mission here, guys. Young Smooth will join us eventually. But guys, follow us on our socials. You guys can follow Young Smooth at Young Smooth TFG. You guys can follow myself at Enigma_V4_. You guys can follow my Instagram at my Instagram being Enigma_V4. And then you guys can follow my TikTok at Enigma_V4. And guys, a lot of the Stardom content that you guys are looking for is on Spotify. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Podbean. It's on even if SoundCloud can host podcasts. It's everywhere podcast based. But guys, again, Follow us on our socials. Join our Discord even. Follow me on Twitch. We are one more away from hitting 600. But I think I'll do the show, the 2K Talk for Glory show, once we're around like 605 subs. And then, we'll get the ball rolling. We'll get those match cards going. But again, guys, drop a like, drop a sub. And it's time for our main event. It is the man that will never get that vacation, unfortunately. Well, the guy that's been dying for that vacation, the workhorse of AEW 2022, the possible top contender for Talk for Glory Superstar of the Year. It is Jon Moxley versus the guy that, just claims he's better than you. The outside from New York, hometown grown talent. It is the devil himself. It is MJF. So this match was fine. Wasn't expecting Mox to play the heel here and then MJF do like babyface shit. Was not exactly the biggest fan of MJF kicking out like he's Super Cena. If anything, I would have had MJF just get a bunch of rope breaks. But I enjoyed this match for showing Mox can play the heel if he really wants to. Like, he can just be that asshole. And here we've said on Talk for Glory that obvious booking does not mean bad match. Because, this match was entertaining. But that ending was way too damn predictable. Like myself and Yuck Smooth talked about this for like a good 4 days. Just calling this outcome. I'm pretty sure we've done the same thing with like Edge and Finn's I Quit match. That was entertaining too. That was pretty damn good. Now the real question is where do we go from here? Because I don't need Mox versus Regal. I definitely don't need that. I don't need Mox to challenge for the AEW title again. Like, dude, let this man go on his vacation. Like, if I was Mox, I would block Tony Khan's number the moment I heard 3. It was like, nope, blocked, and Renee, pack your bags. We're going on that vacation. Even if it's just a stay-at-home vacation so he can just chill with his daughter. But where do we go from here? Actually, I know exactly where we go on from here. We go to the one place that is absolute. We go to the promised land. We go to where not even pillars can hold up where we're going. We are going to a place that is underrated. Even if it's not now, even if it's not a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. You know where we go next after MJF? We go to absolute, underrated Ricky Starks as our next AEW World Champion. Hell, I'll even call it now. MJF is a temp, while Ricky is the uncrowned future AEW World Champion. But for now, enjoy your moment in the sun, MJF, because when it's Ricky's time to shine, it'll shine for a lifetime. And that, guys, was the AEW Full Gear review. I had a lot of fun doing this. The next show will most likely be... Wait one moment, guys. The next show will probably most likely be Survivor Series and the upcoming match of
War Games! War Games!
Yep. It will be the upcoming show, Survivor Series, featuring War Games. Guys, for you guys that don't, For you guys that weren't here since day one-ish, Talk for Glory's first video was Survivor Series, was War Games. So every time we cover this, it feels like we're coming back home to day one. Not the show, to the birth of Talk for Glory. And we're almost at 600. Talk for Glory started 3 years ago. And we're about to cover War Games and Survivor Series next. But guys, thank you everyone that watches this. Thank you everyone that listens. Drop a like, drop a sub. Share this to your friends. Share this to your families. See who's into wrestling. Don't just watch this one. Watch all of our videos. Comment your feedback. Tell us what you want to talk about. Listen to our Spotify. Guys, follow us on our socials. Join our Discords. Remember, our Twitters, YoungSmoothTFG, Enigma_V4_, Enigma_V4. Remember, guys, that is for my Instagram, Enigma_V4. That is my TikTok. And remember, guys, join our Discord. Follow me on on Twitch, which is Enigma_V4. But, guys, I must say, stay safe, have a great night, have a great day, and enjoy wrestling.